Hörrni, hur många av er har varit och besökt ett äldreboende? De flesta av oss, va? Ett äldreboende brukar ju oftast karaktäriseras av att det är just äldre som bor på boendet. Det är ju liksom i definitionen. Men vad händer om man faktiskt gör något annorlunda av det här och öppnar upp ett äldreboende för även andra grupper? Nu så ska vi till Holland och vi ska till ett mycket speciellt äldreboende. Det är Humanitas som heter det, och hon som är vd, det är Gea Sijpkes, och hon ska berätta vad som händer när man låter studenter bo gratis tillsammans med de äldre på ett äldreboende. Välkommen upp, welcome up. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Malmö.
Thank you. That's the wrong one. Okay, I'm working in elderly care in Holland. And elderly care sounds grey, sounds a bit dull and dusty. So to get in the mood, just have a look.
Harry, he's a joker, he's a funny guy. We kind of have a cool connection.
Geïnteresseerd in een eitje hier ook? Ja?
At first I thought just gonna help out a little bit, but you find out that these relationships are deeper than you would expect.
We zijn ook, nou, ik weet niet of ik het veel zeg, maar ook een soort vrienden onder elkaar.
Harry is really good with the ladies in here. Sometimes he winks at them and makes them laugh. Yeah, he knows how to handle the ladies. What I'm learning here is the longer you live here, the closer death comes. A few weeks ago, someone from my hallway passed away, and she was actually pretty close to me. So then you learn that, yeah, death is coming closer, but it's also part of life.
Met Patrick, daar hebben we altijd echt goede contact met elkaar. Natuurlijk hoort hij erbij. Maar we doen alles voor elkaar wat we maar doen kunnen. Hè?
Ja, zeker.
This was a Facebook video, and it was seen within a week 45 million times. So it says we have a question? I think so. I'll tell you the whole story. Once upon a time, that's how stories start, isn't it? Once upon a time there was an old people's home in Deventer in the Netherlands, housing 160 elderly. And the elderly, they were sitting and they were discussing their doctor's appointments, and they were talking about their bad knee that hurts and wondering whether their daughter will have time this week to come and visit. They were washed, they were fed, and they were safe. But they were bored and lonely, hanging around only in their own grey group in the house. And then in 2012, the Dutch healthcare system overhauled. Because the group of elderly were growing triple, double in the next coming years, and we built a system we couldn't afford anymore. It was unaffordable. So that was the good news, really, because because of that question, we rethink over the elderly care, and we started to ask ourselves questions again. Questions like, what business are we in? What do we really want to achieve? And how can we achieve that without running up costs? I decided we were in the happiness business. I want my elderly to have a smile a day instead of a pill a day. I want them to have joy as well as safety. I want them to have new stories of their own, new experiences, something to tell when their daughter is coming by. That was my dream. We cannot solve all the trouble that comes with growing old. We cannot fix all the bad knees. But what we can do is inject life. And how did we do that? We invited 6, the video says 5, but it's 6 actually, students to come and live among the elderly rent-free. So they don't have to pay any rent, but on the contrary, they have to be a good neighbor. And a good neighbor is something you feel and you know what to do. It's not, we don't have any descriptions. It's just that the boys are watching the football matches together, the girls are polishing the nails of the ladies pink and purple. But when the client board first heard about my idea, they thought I was gone mad. You're totally out of your minds. Because to them, students represented sex and drugs and rock and roll. And how could students live among the vulnerable elderly of our house? And that's the strange thing about the story and about how we in Holland look at elderly care. We see elderly as the ones who needed protection, instead of people who are adults for over 80 years and made their own decision all their own lives. But still we are in the discussion of elderly care always on the side of protection and, whoa, they are fragile. Well, sometimes their health is, yes. But that doesn't mean that they don't like joy and they don't like smiles and they don't like happiness. Well, finally, the board agreed, but only for one student and only for a couple of months, so that if it wouldn't work out, then we could abort the project and go on as usual. So, our first student arrived and get to live in Humanitas. And actually, nearly from the beginning, we noticed a change. Because young people were coming by. His friends dropped by. In the middle of the night, he came home, or in the morning. And then our elderly said, "Good morning, you're up early." "No, I'm up late." Okay. The stories the elderly were telling, they changed. And especially the gossiping. They love gossiping about our students. Whether he has a girlfriend yet, whether it's the same as last week, whether she stays the night yet or not. By now, maybe I can see the next sheet now. By now, this is the picture. It was made a few weeks ago by Times magazine and described it as the coolest home. They live together. We have 6 in-house students now living among the elderly. They socialize with their elderly, they sport with their elderly, they cook with them, they see football matches together. All the groups are benefiting. The students benefit because they learn caring skills. They socialize with their senior flatmates. They learn that death is a part of life. They become beautiful adults, beautiful people. The elderly in the home, they're proud of our students. Sometimes they see them as their grandchildren, and other times like pets you can cuddle. Whatever the case, youth is around. They give the elderly something to talk about. The elderly learn new games such as beer pong. You know the game? It's a ping pong ball with mugs of beer on both sides of the table. With a ping pong ball you have to throw into the mug and empty it. The old go to pyjama parties organized by the students, and there's a lot of new experience. Well, there's a lot more to tell. It affects the organization. It has a positive effect on the nursing staff. But the students are not a part of the nursing staff. They are a part of the living environment. So we don't manage them. So everything happens as by surprise. Because of the good atmosphere and the little things that happen all the day, it's also possible that the financial situation of the organization is good as well. That's also very relevant in Holland these days. Well, it's a whole story. It's too short now, but it may sound too good to be true, but it is not. It is working, and it works now, and I hope it will work for you in Sweden and for everywhere. We're going to a workshop later on, and I hope to meet some of you to make this work, because I think well, I don't want to use the words of Catherine, but I was very impressed by her story. But all together, and if you see how it works and how people benefit from being among each other and living among each other, and the joy, the students say they can earn a smile, and they love it. And the elderly, they're very pleased and amused by the young ones and telling each other stories. It's really worthwhile trying it. So I hope you will. It is sustainable innovation, and you can do it too. But break the boundaries and do it your own way, and go for it. Success.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And you have some wonderful chocolate here.